everybody, my name is Jaden.
I'm Caden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and Torah channel, and this is Youth for Yah, and today is the final chapter of Proverbs. We made it through 31 chapters, which means 31 weeks of this, and that means you guys have spent time with us. And thank you all for joining us and staying with us to the very end for those who have. And if you're just catching us now, thank you very much for actually joining us and catching on. Hopefully you do learn something from this, and you are blessed with this. I hope that you guys learn something from this as much as we learn something from this. Tonight is Proverbs 31, which means it's chapter more for women. It's something about women, but we can apply a lot of ourselves to as men as well. We can apply a lot to ourselves. Not all of it's about women, but
yeah, this is actually quite the crazy thing. It's quite been the journey with you guys. This is kind of the finale of Youth for Y'all, because now we're going to do it with our dad. We're going to do it live at night. It's going to be something else with y'all, like the people for y'all or something of the sort, because it started out as we were aiming for the youth, but it became more than just youth. It became parents, it became older folks, it became younger folks, it became basically everyone. Everyone joined in, and that's what's most important. So now we're going to convert this, not Youth for Y'all. We're going to change the logo, we're going to change it all up, and the next week when we come up, we still don't know what book we're going to do. We think it's going to be Sirach or Maccabees or James. We really don't know, so we're kind of running it on a limb. We will figure it out in the coming week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As always, Eli's reading out of the NIV, the KJV, and I am reading out of the Holy Scriptures. He's also got the Sefer down below, and we will be actually transitioning off Sefer, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. I think we'll be going to Yahuwah Scriptures.
Yeah, the Scriptures from Yah. Basically, things like that. We're going to basically Yah's Scriptures. It's the best translation. It's the best restored name translation. Don't forget to go check out our website to go get it.
You can download as well. It's free on our website, Yahuwah.
Especially if you want to read along and don't get confused, because reading out of different translations when someone else is reading out of something way different from what you're hearing is very confusing at times. So if you want to stay and kind of keep up with what we are reading, then you can go and get that yourself.
All right,
let's begin.
Proverbs 31, verse 1. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him.
So, real quickly here. So, people say that Lemuel was a figment of people's imagination, like it was a creation of like Solomon or something, like something.
So, there's three theories. It could be King Solomon himself, it could be like what his mother called him, it could be like a pet name, something that degree of Lemuel, or it could be King Hezekiah, or this could be like a thing that Solomon made up to show people what a king and his mother would be like.
Right, or it could actually be a king that was somewhere around the world. You know, it didn't know every single king from every single country or nation, so it could be anybody, really.
Verse 2. What, my son, and what, the son of my womb, and what, the son of my vows?
Now, that doesn't make a lot of sense, so he's going to read it in the NIV.
Listen, my son, listen, son of my womb, listen, my son, the answer to my prayers.
So it says basically here, listen. This is something we've heard through all the Proverbs, and now this guy Lemuel, he's telling us to listen. That's what Psalm has said. He said, listen, my son, hearken your ear, my son. Tie these words to your life, my son. But you to apply them, you must listen. So we're finally wrapping up with listen. That's what the most important thing is to do, is listen, understand, and learn.
Verse 3. Give not your strength unto women, nor your ways to that which destroys kings.
So basically, here we have something, or it's a mother, or it's basically a Solomon basically talking as a separate person or something like that, like how writers would have different names and things like that, where we get this, and he's like, this was always the base of Proverbs, right? We're just rehearing the things we've already heard, and he says, don't do evil, don't go away from the Torah, and don't go to strange women. It's the same with strange men. Don't go to them. It turns your heart away from the Most High. If you're turning your heart away from the Most High, you're going on a road that's going to end you up in hell.
Right, you shouldn't be going after women that aren't in Torah. You shouldn't go after men that aren't in Torah. Those people are lawless, and they can turn you away from the Torah. We saw it so many times with people of Yisrael. Every time they went and saw a beautiful woman outside of Torah, they went and started lusting after them, and they started doing evil. They started worshipping other idols, and many of them died because of the sins they committed.
Verse 4. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of the afflicted.
As the ruler of Yisrael, we have to understand that they had to be just. They had to be perfect-minded at all times, no matter the situation. They always had to cast right ruling and judgment. Should we go to war? What is the plan? How do we do this? Because he's the head of Yisrael. If he stumbles in something, he is going to make the rest of the kingdom stumble. It's just as Solomon went off and started building altars and mighty ones, because he went off on the women. He went off with all these women, and they turned his heart away from Yah, and the entire kingdom of Yisrael fell. And to this day, the rest of Israel lives in exile due to his mistakes. You look at over like 2,000 years of sins have led up to this point where the people of Yah are scattered, and you have a small dialect of people, just a small group that aren't even really the people of Yah. So the entirety of Yah's people are scattered. There is no true child of Yisrael that we know of other than ourselves if we are following the Torah. We don't know the bloodline. The bloodline was all separated, and what could be us? We don't know until we get to the kingdom what bloodline we were.
Right, and I will go back to on the subject of that verse. Is don't drink. But, if you're in position of that, and you have drinking issues, you can make very bad decisions when you're drunk. You don't know what you can't. A lot of people can't remember what they do when they get drunk. That's the habit. You don't want to go and drink. You don't want to give into strong drink. It's not something you want to do. If you give into strong drink, bad things happen. Especially when you're in a place of authority. If you're a king and you start drinking, and then something happens, you start making very rash decisions. Something that's going to happen if you tell someone to do something when you are drinking a lot, and they're going to do it because you're the king and you have no choice. They're going to do it, and then the bad things happen. And when you are sober, and you're going to wonder what you did and why you did this, and you're going to have an answer because you gave them a drink. So even as regular people, we shouldn't be giving into drinking. We shouldn't be drunkards. We shouldn't be drinking. Now, a drink here and there isn't actually a bad thing, which I don't know about your drink, but Yehoshua did say wine. He gave wine for the stomach, and that's what also Paul told Timothy. When he had stomach issues, like his letters aren't letters to us, but he was like, "Hey, he's had
stomach issues." It was obviously a medical remedy, which was like for them at that time. He's like, you're drinking the water. The water's getting you sick. It's like if you've ever gone out of the country and you just drink straight tap water from the thing, you get very sick. You throw up. You get extremely sick, and that's what Paul says. He goes, you shouldn't be drinking the water where you're at anymore. He's like, just drink some wine. It'll heal your stomach. Drink a little bit of wine. You'll be good. Just stop drinking the water from there. And people take that out of context, saying, "Oh, we should just drink wine. It's good for us," and things like that. And that's how they take out the entire thing of Paul's things. And I think this is where Proverbs comes in really handy, because it's like, watch your soul, watch what you read, watch what you listen, be wise in what you do.
Right. Hannibal Gray, aloha, shalom, thank you for joining us.
Verse 6, give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts.
So it says give wine to those of heavy hearts, and those that are sick, and those that are dying, and because the drink is going to people that are perishing, people that are dying, right? They need a painkiller, right? That was their painkiller back then. Now we have a whole bunch of other medicines. We have a whole bunch of man-made things where
it's not good, not natural.
Except for those that are sad of heart, right? Those that are broken. It was like an antidepressant for them back in the day.
Right, but you shouldn't get carried away with it. Do not get carried away with it.
Do not get carried away with these things, especially if neither of you're not dying or you're not misery of heart, and you have to really weigh, are you a misery of heart, or is this something you're just drinking to drink?
Verse 7, let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more.
So again, Solomon's saying for the dying and the sick that let them drink this stuff, let them have this. Don't withhold it from them. But a king is not supposed to be drinking this. A person that is in a position of Yah's rule, the people where they are put by Yah to rule a certain thing, to judge over a certain thing, they can't be drinking this stuff. They have to be stable-minded at all times, and as we should be, because when we let our guard down, if we get drunk, right, if we are taking alcohol, or we let an addiction get to us, and we put our guard down, that lets demons in, that lets evil in, and it may go down a road where you can't stop and you lose your soul forever. And like we said through this entire series was guard your soul. Your soul is the most important thing. You got to watch out for it.
Verse 8, open your mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all such are open your mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. The NIV says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute.
The Sefer isn't a great translation, but it definitely has good things to it with the restored names. But here in NIV, it's a little easier to say. It says, speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. We're supposed to help those, defend those who are broken, those who are disabled. We are supposed to be there to help them. We're supposed to be a guiding light to them. We're supposed to help the poor, the fatherless, the widow. These people, we are here to help them. We are supposed to be a guide them. We are supposed to help these people. And who are we if we do not? If someone cannot defend themselves, you must defend them. You must help them. If someone needs help, you are there to help them. That is what we are supposed to do.
Verse 9, open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy.
So he says, speak up for those that are broken, right? The needy, because we are people that can speak up. We know the Torah, we know what's right and wrong. If you see something evil, speak up, defend those people, because it's what you believe in, because your Messiah is watching. Your Messiah is did for us. He spoke up for us. He died for us. And even when the people mocked him on the stick, they said, "Forgive him." Yahusha did the most speaking up of anyone. He went up and stood up to the Pharisees when they were attacking people, when they were about to stone the woman. Yahusha walked up and he gave them this. He asked them, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Here's the thing." He wrote in the sand, and we don't know what it is, but he wrote in the sand. And he defended the people. We need to speak up for those. You can defend those. That is part of the Torah, to love your neighbor. That is part of an actual Torah command, is that if you see something, you need to do something about it. That is a Torah command.
Verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
Now we are on to the part of the wife, the woman, what kind of what's called the Proverbs 31 woman. And who can find a wife that is virtuous, that is Torah keeping, that is pure, that is of Yahuwah? That is more precious than anything. That is people. When you find a spouse that is in Torah, that is more precious than any money. That is priceless. You cannot put a price on a perfect soulmate.
Verse 11. The heart of a man safely trusts in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
Now we have no exact opinion on this, or exact say. We have opinions, but we cannot have a correct say in this, because he's talking about women here. We're hearing about women, but this could be for men. And trust, where you should have trust, where you should not be worrying about what they're doing, because you should trust them. This should be a trusting relationship. The people should be faithful all the way through, and especially if you start your relationship and you put the foundation down as the Torah and you build up on that foundation of the Torah, the relationship is not going to fall, because Yahuwah is in between this. Yahuwah is going to hold it together. The will of Yah is stronger than any problems that can come through your way, especially in relationships.
Verse 12. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. And she seeks wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ship. She brings her food from afar.
So this is something that Shalom or Lemuel is talking about, how a woman of virtue, a woman of Yah, provides for the family, how she is going out and getting her food, going out and getting her wool, because back then the job of a woman was extremely hard. It still is today, with child caring and watching over the children and dealing with all the rest of stuff. But back then they had to basically make their own clothes. They had to go from very scratch, where now we don't have to make clothes, but they had to go get the wool, clothe the children, because winter was coming. They had to get all the clothes ready. They had to change sizes. And this is what Shlomo was saying, is that you can't be lazy as a parent, as a family member, and this goes for men too. You have to take care of this family. For your wife to be happy, for your wife to be able to do these things, you have to take care. You have to do your part as well. Shaloma has the correct recipe for a hardworking family, for a great functional family.
Hey, Fearmonger, bless you too, brother. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while.
Verse 15. She rises also while it is yet night, and also gives meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens.
Again, we have something that is extremely, that you don't see any days anymore, is that people, the mother of the kids, of the husband of the wife of the husband, got up and she made the food for the day. She got it ready, because cooking was not easy, right? We can't just throw Hot Pockets in the microwave and it's done. It's not easy like that anymore. You can't do that back in the day. And this is what Yah's thing is. Yah wants a family to be united. It's a functioning gear, and if you have parts of the gear that aren't functioning, the gear will eventually start chipping away and breaking until there's no gear left, until it's broken. Yahuwah has a perfect way. That's why he says man and woman have to join together and become one flesh, because when they're one flesh, they are of one mind. They are going to function together properly under the circumstances that they are with the Torah.
The granted happy wife, happy life. That's what people have said before, and
that's true.
That's true. If your wife's happy, you might be happy, and it should be a good thing. If both people
it should be happy husband, happy life, happy wife, happy life. Everyone in a family should be happy. A family is not meant to be something that is broken down.
Yeah, well, Hot Pockets. We don't actually eat Hot Pockets. They're not healthy. They're not.
And we don't have a microwave either. But it's an example, because people nowadays have the freezer food. You just stick in the toaster, you stick in the oven, and it comes out in 3 minutes, and you're done. But back then, you couldn't do that. You literally cooked. Shabbat cooking was not crock pot meals. We have been blessed with modern technology. We have been blessed with these things that we don't have to cook all night long. But the way they did in Shabbat was they left the fire going all night long with the food cooking, so they could have a warm meal in the morning.
Verse 16. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands she plants a vineyard. She girds her loins with strength, and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good. Her candle goes not out by night.
So this is talking about someone that works hard. This is a virtuous woman. This is something men need to look for. Is someone that is virtuous, someone that is in the Torah, someone that is like this. This is how to define what kind of woman you want, and there's ways men should be, but this is the way to look for a wife. You want a wife that is the Proverbs 31.
Verse 19. She lays the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretches out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy.
Again, here we go with she reached out her hands to the needy, and that's something we should all do. Is we should always reach out to the needy.
But a good woman, a good wife, she is going to be there helping poor and needy. She's going to be helping the beggars in the streets. That's the kind of you want. You want the person
You want
that
a
has compassion.
kind-hearted woman. Yes, you want someone kind-hearted. You want a kind-hearted man as well. You want people that have compassion. You don't want a stone-cold robot that hates people, because there's no love in that person. You need love in a family for a family to work.
Verse 21. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet.
So there we go, talking about the snow and the cold again. You know, it says she has them all prepared for the winter.
Right.
She has them clothes built. That's what she does. And this is the kind if men wife, you want to find someone that can do the kind of things that is in the Torah.
And especially how hard this was. We can't, because we go out to the store, right? When we see winter's coming, you go buy a new winter coat for the growing up kids. And how they would do it is they would have to basically have a size that is a little larger or something that is close to that size. And they would have to make it before winter came. And especially if you were poor, you can't just go and get material. Materials were not cheap.
Verse 22. She makes herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her man is known in the gates when he sits among the others of the land. She makes fine linen and sells it, and delivers belts unto the merchant.
So there's more things about how she works and how diligent she works. This is a perfect woman. This is a woman who is doing great things, and this is what all women should strive to be, is the woman of Proverbs 31. Someone who is following Torah, someone who is kind, someone who is there for the family.
Verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the Torah of kindness.
Again, we have more things of kindness. How we're looking for people to be people of Yah are not going to be the people that are be like, I hate everyone is a terrible person. We're looking for kind-hearted people, and what comes from our mouth should be the Torah. We should be repeating the Torah, as Yahushua was living Torah, and he repeated the Torah. If you look through his entire 4 books so that he was around, you can see that everything he spoke was the Torah. He spoke to Hasatan from the Torah. He spoke to the Pharisees from the Torah. It may have sounded different, but it was all exactly the same. The things he repeated was straight from the Torah.
Verse 27. She looks well to the ways of her household, and eats not the bread of idleness. Her children rise up, and call her blessed. Her man also, and he praises her.
So it says the family. If you have a mother or a wife or someone in the family taking care of your family, you should bless them. You should thank them for the goodness they do. Our mom is great. She cooks. She cleans. She does all this stuff for us. She is a great mother. So yeah, you want someone who. You want a mom. You want someone who will take care of you. That's the people you look for. If you have a mother that is in Torah, you should get up every single day and say, "Bless you, mother. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being in Torah and taking care of me." And Firma said, you don't want a lazy, worldly person, like a Christian, a Christian woman. She is of the world. They do worldly things. They keep the pagan feasts. And, this month is the month, of this, so she celebrate, the winter. The winter solstice is going to be, Christmas. It's a pagan day. And that's something you should not be celebrating. That's something you want to keep your family far away from. And if you are bringing your family into that kind of thing, then you are bringing them to satanic rituals.
Verse 29. Many daughters have done virtuously, but you excel them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that fears Yahuwah, she shall be praised.
Again, if you are fearing Yahuwah, blessings come, praises come, esteem comes if you are fearing Yahuwah, because the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of knowledge and the beginning of wisdom, and wisdom is the understanding of the Torah. That is wisdom. That is what wisdom is.
Fair Mama said, women today seek respect from the world and other women not from Yah.
And that's true, and no one does. No one in this day and age, especially people that are not knowing even who Yah is. That's all it is fame, 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 fame. How about me? Can I get rich and famous? How quick can I do this? How can I become the most famous person? How can I get my net worth up? And things like that. And that's all they care about, when Yahuwah is right there saying, what about your worth in heaven? What about your worth to me? How about you come back to me? And that's what he wants. He wants us to return. He wants us to follow him. Beauty is vain. Things like that. Things of that sort. All people care about is their looks, when we should care about our hearts. How does our heart look? Is our heart dark, or is our heart full of light that is able to be seen from other people outside of the Torah, going, why does that person have such a bright heart? Why are they doing what they're doing? Why do they reach their hand to the poor? And when they ask, you can respond with the Torah. You can respond with the words of Yahushua, and you can change a heart. That is how it begins of saving lives, is you lead by example. People aren't going to hear you by your words. If people see that you're just a doom and gloom and you are sad and you care about other worldly things and you try and preach, people can see that. People are not easily tricked. They're not robots that you can just say, follow the Torah, and they will go do. You have to show by example. You have to show these things.
Verse 31. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. The NIV says, honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring praise at the city gate.
Yeah, she should be praised. If you have a wife or a mother or someone in the household that's taking care of you, that person should be praised. That person should be thanked. That person should be blessed when you wake up. You should thank them. You should praise them. You should say, thank you for cooking for me. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for taking care of me, keeping me full and warm. And that's the kind of person you want. And that is the kind of woman that you want to find. Women, if you're listening to this, you should strive to be this kind of woman. This is the woman you should strive to be. And For Yah said Judith 5:20-21. That is a good thing. Elf, can you flip there, please? Eli.
Yeah, Judith. We've read Judith one time. We should read it again. We might read it live eventually, but I don't know how soon we'll read it. We might make it a series, because I remember Judith was a really good book. It's been years since I've actually read the book itself. What's going on here? Oh, there we go.
It's frozen.
Okay. Judith is right there.
5:22.
5:20-21. 5:20 and then 20-21.
There we go.
Let's see what 20 and 21 says.
Now therefore, wait, why does the Sefer say Lord?
I think it's talking to a king.
Okay. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against the people, and they sin against their Elohim, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Yahuwah defend them, and their Elohim be for them, and become a reproach before all the world.
Yeah, that if you are having a life that is righteous, that is right in the eyes of Yahuwah, He's going to protect you. Your walls are not going to be broken down. Your walls around you are going to be fortified by Yah's hand. But if you are
in the world, if you're a person in the modern day and age of this world, and this is what happened to you, well, who would protect you? Would you be able to protect yourself from a nation, or would you have to call on Yahuwah? If you didn't know who Yahuwah was, then what would you do? And we have to teach the world, because a lot of people have never heard the name of Yahuwah. They've heard God, they've heard Lord, and they've heard Jesus, but none of those names are actually the real names. So we need to be able to teach people the true names, so that when the time comes, they can call upon these names, and they have the right person to pray to, so they are actually asking for true forgiveness, and they know what they are following. So we all have a chance to do this now that we're done with Youth for Yah. We've learned about teaching and helping and fools and listening, and this is the very end of Proverbs for us.
Yeah, let's go over a few things we learned in Proverbs. Weights and measures were really important. That was something important. Lying, keeping a honest witness, and these things are all you've heard in the Torah before, but these are just things we repeat. Things of keeping yourself pure, purity in relationships, purity in life, purity in your eyes. We remembered all of those things.
Right. We learned to obey your parents, listen to your parents, listen to elders, seek knowledge, seek wisdom, look for it, because it doesn't come to you if you're not looking for it. You have to work for this. You have to work for a food. You have to work for it. It is a spiritual food.
Yeah, and not being lazy, not being lazy in what you do, working hard in what you do, so that you can have food in the ground when time comes.
Yeah, name a few things that you learn from Proverbs.
Wisdom. We get a lot of wisdom from Proverbs.
Yeah, but what's a few lessons that Solomon gave us?
Solomon gave us a bunch of lessons where we are told to basically that in order to find wisdom, we must fear Yahuwah. We must have a fear of Yahuwah, because the world does not have a fear of Yahuwah. Therefore, our life will be in danger. Don't become a drunkard. Don't become a drunkard with these things of the world, with all the drinks and all the things. Don't get addicted to harmful things, and don't put your life to that, because you can lose your soul to that.
Another big thing was don't hang around worldly people. You don't want to be around those people. You become like them. They aren't your friends. You don't want to be friends with the world. That's not someone you want to be.
Learn about contention and how speaking softly, speaking with calmness can turn away wrath, and if you can control your anger, you're stronger than the strongest man.
Right.
And honor your parents.
And always keep the Torah and follow Yahuwah. Never
Yeah.
stray away from that path. All right, everyone. I think that is all for today. We will all see you back here hopefully next week if we have decided on a book. If you guys do want to recommend a book, let us know, and we will We can all go over that. We'll see. But I think we might have something already picked out. But if we do not, just leave some comments down below. And don't forget to join our Telegram group and all our other channels just in case we
All
do
the
lose it.
links will be in the description. I think
Already
there you are. So just go click away if you're wanting to find other channels in case we disappear off this channel, because we do have the problem with the HS coming after every channel they see. They do not like us at the moment. So if you guys want to find us on other channels just in case anything happens, you just want to see where we're at, we will all be there. We won't stop uploading. We're going to continue to spread the word, continue to give away the word of Yahuwah. So we will see you guys soon. Tomorrow is a preparation day for Shabbat. We'll talk about that more tomorrow. And we will see you guys soon. All right. Shalom.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.